Early seasons can be notoriously tough for quarterbacks. We'll have to see how seamlessly he can make the jump from college to the next level.
It's the Steelers going up against the Browns.
Hey, what's up guys, Tony here, and you're watching some Madden 18. If you've been around the channel for a while, then you'll know that this channel used to be a much more well-rounded sports channel. It has, in the last few years, turned into pretty much almost exclusively, or I should say exclusively, an iRacing channel, or at least a sim racing channel. So what I'd like to actually do is sort of reach out again and try to diversify the videos that I'm putting out, because I do miss the content. I do miss making different types of videos. Baseball, football. I did play a little hockey there for a while. So it'd be nice to kind of get back to my roots and not only continue to do sim racing, maybe some arcade racing, but on top of that, some of the old sports games like Madden and MLB The Show that I used to do a lot of. I just haven't done anymore. That being said, as I mentioned, it's been a few years since I've done a Madden video. The last time I played Madden, I was really unimpressed with it. I want to say it was like, gosh, maybe 14. I'm gonna have to go back and look in my history, but it's been a number of years. And the last time I played, it was pretty much a defensive-centric game where I remember, I think I did a game where I threw a Hail Mary. That's it. That's all I did, because I was really frustrated with the DBs and the safeties, because they picked everything off. It was ridiculous how often I got picked off, and so I threw a ton of Hail Marys. I think every single pass I threw or play I ran was a Hail Mary, and I think I was picked off about 60% of the time, and it was really frustrating, because what happened is the defensive ends, or excuse me, the corners and the safeties, they would fight and they would go back to the ball if it was underthrown, but the wide receivers wouldn't fight for the ball. They just kind of kept running. So it was really frustrating as a guy that's a passer. Like, that's just what I am. You know, I'm definitely a passer. Pocket passer is probably the best way to describe me. And so that was frustrating for somebody who wanted to sit back and be a gunslinger. If you throw a lot of passes, you're going to get picked, because the offensive, the wideouts and the tight ends and the backs who you're throwing to, they wouldn't fight over the ball. So anyways, I decided to give it a try. A lot of it had to do with the fact that there's no more football in San Diego. So I had to pick a new favorite team. And once the Chargers had made the official announcement that they were leaving for Los Angeles, I told my dad's from Cleveland. I said, you know, Dad, you're a diehard Browns fan. I've been pretty much a diehard Chargers fan since I was born, and I think I'm going to become a Browns fan. And he laughed, and he's like, well, we'll welcome you. And I said, well, you know, it's kind of funny, because, you know, the Browns have come in with so much, like, baked in misery and disappointment, so it's going to be like right at home. So anyways, I decided to pick the Browns, so I created a player. This is you know, I always pick Scott McLean. He's been sort of my go-to character for, gosh, a number of years now, as a quarterback. And so we're gonna play through this season and just see what we can do with the Browns. And judging by the way this game turned out, you know, who knows? Maybe we'll be Super Bowl bound. But it was kind of nice. It's interesting, because when I was picking through the different teams to play as, of course I stopped on the Chargers and I gave it some pause. And it's like, oh my gosh, this has been my go-to team for forever. And so now I just, you know, I don't necessarily hate the organization as a whole. I do not like the ownership. I think, like most Charger fans, I'm split between, you know, I like the players I grew up watching. I really want them to do well. At the same time, though, I feel very betrayed. And so I really don't want the Chargers to do well. And it's quite a contradiction and a little bit of hypocrisy, because, like I said, I want to see Rivers and Gates, Ingram, new Chargers like Bosa. I want to see these guys do well, play well. And I kind of do the same thing with Padres. When the Padres traded Jake Peavy away, they traded Anthony Rizzo away, just to name a few, Tony Gwynn Jr. You know, those are players that I kept following their career, because I was really interested. I was invested in them as players, but not really invested in the team. So I'm invested in these players. I want them to do well, but I don't really care if the team wins. And it's interesting, because when I've watched both Charger games this past 2 weeks, And it's a different experience when you're watching a team from a standpoint of not a fan, because you can be a little bit more critical and I think a little bit more honest about the way the team played. So week 1 against Denver, they played pretty terribly. They were rushing a lot, when going up to the line trying to get a playoff with seconds to spare. And then when they were playing really well, and they had that I believe the third quarter drive where they scored, I think it was 14 points, and really kind of put the pressure on Denver. Philip Rivers was taking his time. He wasn't rushing up to the line to snap the ball in a couple of seconds. They weren't no huddling. They picked their play out. They ran their play. They took their time, and they sort of methodically marched down the field. And then when you contrast that with the first half Chargers, they looked like a team with its head cut off. They're scrambling all around, like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna get the ball off. Rivers was forcing plays, and it was very traditional, unfortunately, Chargers football. So when they have those moments where they're playing very solidly and very efficiently, it gives me pause. It's like, wow, this is a glimpse. This is like a 2-series glimpse of what the Chargers could have been. I don't know. I think, like I said, you get to look at it from fresh perspective. I think Rivers is just a little too excitable. He really needs to pull back, take a second, maybe be a little bit more stoic and a little bit more methodical in his approach, and less, energetic and volatile. That was interesting. And last week it was I picked the Chargers to lose. My wife and I are doing like a little not fantasy football, but just a little weekly week picks and like a little pool for her work. So I picked the Chargers to lose, and sure as shit was surprised when they did, because it looked like they had the thing in the bag. But it wasn't a great game for either team. I really didn't watch it all that closely. We kept switching back and forth from the Padres game to the Chargers game. It just goes to show you how not big fans we are now, where we just really don't care. I think going forward, I will continue to watch the games, but I'll just kind of watch them to like I watch a Packers game, or I watch a Broncos game, or I watch a Raiders game, or any other team in the NFL. Like, I'm not invested really. And I told my dad that I'm going to be a Browns fan. I haven't watched a single play of the Browns. More likely because they're just not on. They're not being broadcasted. There are bigger games being broadcasted. But it's just, I don't know. I think I'm not necessarily invested in football at this time. I probably will get back into it. It's just I don't know. It's a little too soon. Now, with regards to the Chargers, I know my brother likes to share a bunch of articles about how every time there's a preseason game or after the first the first homestand, it's like, oh, shitty attendance. I hope they, I'm not a vindictive or bitter fan. I don't really try to gauge in that. I did say a couple things on Facebook that first week, so I'm trying not to be that guy, but it's hard not to be that guy as a Charger fan right now. And I really do. I think that, for the I don't want to say the loyal, but I think the ones that are jumping on board the Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers train, more power to you. I've grown up. I hate everything about Los Angeles. Los Angeles Raiders, the Los Angeles Dodgers, Los Angeles Lakers. Everything about Los Angeles, I just hate. It's like Boston to New York. It just doesn't. Water and oil doesn't go together. Can't support really anything that's associated with Los Angeles. Now, there's certain things that I will fight against, like the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I think that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And they should be the Anaheim Angels. I think if the Chargers were like the California Chargers based in Los Angeles, I don't think I'd have a big problem with it, but because Los Angeles is stamped right on the name, I hate it. I just do. So, is it petty of me? I don't know. I think it's just fandom coming out, but it is what it is. I've been a long-time Chargers fan and San Diego Chargers fan, and now there are no San Diego Chargers here, so I just really don't have the inclination to support them. I think that'll be sort of the last bit that I talk about the Chargers. As far as Madden 18 gameplay-wise, actually, I find it to be not too bad. It's taking me a little bit to get used to it. There's different play calling options now. You can ask the coach. There's community plays. I think those are probably the most picked plays online or something like that. I don't quite know. And there is obviously you can pick your play by formation and stuff like that. So I do like that aspect. I do like it was a little jarring because the my player or the creative player was set within the franchise mode, and I was kind of hoping that it would still be its own separate thing. But I mean, through franchise they give you the 3 options. You've got the player, the coach, or the owner. So you can manage the team on those 3 aspects. I don't know if you're the owner. I know it's the coach because the first one it is I was playing as a coach, and you play as all players. It's just pretty much like a regular game. And then when you play as a player, you're only playing the plays that your player is in on. And then as the owner, I don't really know if you play every play like a coach and you just manage also the financial aspects. Maybe it's like traditional franchise mode where you've got your hand in everything. So from marketing to the price of concession stand items to ticket prices, etc., etc., etc. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, but I will. But so far, I'm pretty much enjoying this sort of traditional my player. The one thing I am really looking forward to is the story mode that they've incorporated. I've read some good things about it. I didn't really know anything about it until after I bought the game and I saw the story mode. And I actually thought that was the franchise, or not the franchise, but the my player. I was like, oh, cool, you can create a character now, and he's got a story you play through. And little did I know, it was an actual story they wrote. And so I'm interested to see how that goes. So I'm going to actually do a playthrough of that. So look forward to that. Hopefully you guys are looking forward to that as well. If you played it already, let me know what you think about it. Just keep the spoilers, if there are any spoilers, I don't know, out of the comment section. Anyways, guys, I'm looking forward to doing more Madden videos. I'll try to do one once a week or so. I want to sprinkle in some baseball. I'm playing through a franchise right now, almost to the playoffs, 162 games, the whole thing. It's taken a while, ridiculous stats because, it's all for fun, but it'd be kind of nice maybe to record the playoff games or something like that. Oh, yeah, and the bitch of it is that I was recording a part of a game last night, and I gave up recording that game. I stopped. I was like, who's going to want to watch it? I'm not going to do this. And sure enough, I pitched a perfect game. Fuck! Why did I stop recording? And why did I close the Elgato recording software? It sucked. But I finally got a perfect game. It's taking me, it's taking me years of playing the show to finally pitch a perfect game. And I finally did it. And I've got no proof of it. Anyways, guys, let me know how you are enjoying Madden 18 so far. It's kind of a nice break from sports or from iRacing or racing games in general or baseball, which I play a lot of, but it's nice to break it up. It's season specific, so it's it feels good to be involved with football, but sort of indirectly involved. But yeah, like I said, let me know what you guys think about the game, and let me know if you've seen any major glitches, because I've really only played it for a few hours so far, so I haven't seen much in the way of glitches. But I do appreciate some aspects, so I'll touch that in the next video, the things I'm really enjoying about the game, and maybe some things I'm not liking about it. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I shall talk to you guys later.
That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
All right, here we go.
They'll try and run for it with Johnson. And he will dive into the end zone, and the two-point conversion is successful. From the southern edge of Ohio down in Cincinnati. And the Bengals, they've now taken the lead in that ball game. Giovanni Bernard, he's been tough to stop, up over 130 yards on the ground. A touchdown to boot. They'll come out throwing here on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's the one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Hurry up, here we go.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And a catch made by Kenny Britt. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. 23 yards on the play. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
They'll run with Crowell. Oh, he's got some breathing room. Isaiah Crowell, he's all alone. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Isaiah Crowell. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Over the middle, the catch by Coleman. He's at the 50, 30, the 20. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Corey Coleman, 96 yards. And the Browns add 6 to their lead. And I think it's safe to say we won't call many touchdown passes longer than that this year, partner.
No, I would agree with that totally. And right now, you're looking at an offensive coordinator, conservative.
Now a handoff to Crowell. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
Set! Blue 90! Blue 90!
Now a play fake here on first down. Throw left side complete. That's Gordon. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15, just shy of the 10. A good pickup there, a 22. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the tuck rule that they can fall back on anymore.
This will be caught just inside the 10. And eventually stopped just shy of the goal line right around the 2. The Browns passing game finding its stride. They've got another first down. He's played a great game. It continues right there, even with this lead. Confident to throw the pass and have the reception made.
There's no doubt who the leader of their team is there? There's no doubt who they want to ride all the way to the finish. Because strategy would tell you, run the football, run the clock down. Instead, they're letting him throw it because they feel that confident in what he's getting done.
And he's going to be stopped dead in his tracks. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
He'll look to throw. And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. It's the fullback. He'll drop to throw. And he's got his man on the out route. And he gets it down to the 32. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. So the offense readies for a 2nd and 4.
Double tight, guys, double tight. Set! Blue 90!
Crowell. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. So So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
David Njoku, nearly 17 yards a catch in college. Those are wide receiver numbers.
Yeah, went to Miami. Brad Kaya was his quarterback. They were a really good combo. Also, how about the wingspan of the young rookie? 35.25-inch arms.
Quarterbacks love that. That catch radius, huge. And what he does after the catch, really impressive.
A little dump off for Corral. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. A give to Crowell. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
And he's going to take this one down to the 25. 8 yards there on the carry, and now they're left with a much more manageable 3rd and 3. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. They'll look to throw. And he's got his tight end, Njoku. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And this looks to probably be the final play. And partner, this first week, this first game that we get to call together, so special every year, week 1. You had the flyover, the big American flag out there before the game, all the hoopla, just having football back, so special.
It is an opening day, opening game. There's just nothing like it because you really build to a crescendo. But the best part for us is that crescendo lasts for a while. Opening game here, an entire season. We get into the playoffs, to the Super Bowl. I was really excited. I could barely sleep last night. I can't imagine being a player.
So for the Browns, it's a fantastic start as they roll to a blowout victory here in the season opener. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for the Steelers, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they'll get a home date next week against the Minnesota Vikings. So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. It's a win for the Browns, and they're happy in the dog pound as we say so long from Cleveland.